I was using MacBook for first 2 years of medical school, and applications for productivity and study process there is simply amazing, but I have transferred to Windows laptop on my 3rd year. So, how is it here and whether Windows can provide similar to macOS experience in terms of productivity and study process? Hey guys, I'm Alex and let's check it out. So the first type of applications will be study notes, and on macOS we have Notability and Good Notes app. So if we are talking about Windows, here we can use OneNote application, and right now I use it in order to transfer PDFs from Notability and Good Notes app and to store all of my notes in one place. OneNote perfectly synchronizes around all of the devices if we're talking about iPad, OS, Android, Windows and even macOS. So you can start transferring your notes if you plan on going to the Windows PC for the same reasons as I. The second type of applications are notes. The thing is that if we're talking about Apple products, the best note applications will be Apple Notes. So on Windows laptop I have found two perfect alternatives. First of which will be Simple Notes app. The name is Simple Notes. It's a perfect note-taking app for all type of the systems: macOS, iOS, iPadOS, Android, Windows and even Linux. And also Google Keep. Google Keep doesn't have a dedicated application for Windows OS, but you can create a web page shortcut which is quite useful and it works perfectly fine, the same as the usual app would work. Synchronizing calendars is a very important thing. If we're talking about macOS, there you will have dedicated Apple Calendar, which will synchronize between your devices perfectly fine. But if we are talking about Windows PC, the calendar here is kinda pain in the arse. So right here, I prefer to use a Google Calendar, the same as before. I create a web page shortcut, which opens in a new tab, and so I can see all of my calendar on all of my devices, the same as Windows, iPadOS and Android OS. Also on Android and iPadOS it will be dedicated applications, while on PC it will be a web page shortcut which will work as a dedicated application. If we're talking about time tracking, which will be our next topic, here I use ToggleTrack or Forest app. Both of these applications are available both on iPadOS, iOS and Android, and if we're talking about Windows, here ToggleTrack and Forest will have both Chrome extensions, and ToggleTrack will also have a dedicated app on the PC, so you can track your time using all of these devices and the information will synchronize perfectly fine. macOS has a very useful feature where you can tap the spacebar in order to preview a file. So Windows lacks it, but you can change it using Quick Look application from the Windows Store, which redeems these functions from the macOS. It works perfectly fine and this application is completely free of charge. If we're talking about file management, here I can say that I use a very useful application called Fences, which you can buy from the Steam store for only something around $8. If you want to have a clean desktop and have lots of fast accessible applications and files or folders, then Fences application is made simply for you, because it creates dedicated fences on your desktop and all of your files look very organized with special labels. If we're talking about PDF management, I used to use PDF Expert on macOS, but this application is limited to macOS and iOS only. So right now I use a perfect application called Wondershare PDF Expert, which has dedicated applications both on iPadOS and Android and also Windows operating systems. So the files are synchronizing and all of it works perfectly fine. It has the same type of user experience as the PDF Expert would have. The only difference I have found are the difference in color of the icons. Another useful feature MacBook has is iCloud access to files on your desktop. So I have used to that feature, that's why right here I have found a similar feature which provides Windows itself using OneDrive. So using OneDrive you can have access to all of your files from the cloud, the same as you would have from the iCloud on macOS. If we're talking also about editing photos, on macOS there are an amazing application called Pixelmator. This application costs a little bit of money, but still it works perfectly fine. On Windows I have found two alternatives. First of all will be GIMP. It's a free of charge application which works very similar to Pixelmator. The only difference will be the design of the application. It's a little bit old-fashioned. And the next application which works amazingly and works very similar to Pixelmator is Affinity Photo, which will be available on Windows operating system. And if we are talking about editing videos, then Final Cut 10 and iMovie are an amazing software, but if we are talking about Windows, here we don't have neither of it, but we can use DaVinci Resolve free application, which is a perfect video editing application with color correction and lots of other features. I currently use this application in order to edit, for example, this video. Also, if we are talking about sending applications, photos, videos, text, documents and other stuff between our devices, even if you have very similar setup than I have, than an Android phone, iPad as a tablet and a Windows as an operating system for the PC, then that's a quite difficult task. But what if you need to send files between your devices? Right here I have found two solutions. First one will be Telegram Messenger. Telegram Messenger allows you to send lots of files, up to 2 GB each, between all of your devices, and even some of them without compression, so you can use the full file. For example, I use this application in order to send the previews for the videos from my iPad to my Windows PC without any compression, and also the second opportunity which you can have in order to send files between your computer and iPad or computer and Android phone will be a Snapdrop application and web service. This web service allows you to send any type of files between your devices if they are in the same network. That's why I use both of them. To be honest, Snapdrop is a little bit faster because it uses the Wi-Fi access, while Telegram uses your internet resources. That's why it has both pluses and minuses. I use both of them and I find both of them pretty useful. macOS also has a very useful feature if we are talking about a laptop usage. You can use iPad as your secondary screen. It's a built-in feature in the macOS, so when I have transferred to Windows I lacked this function. That's why I have found, and I am using right now very often, to be honest, Duet Display. Duet Display is a paid application, approximately $12 for the iPad, in order for you to have the secondary screen as your iPad. It works very similarly to the macOS, works perfectly fine, and I suppose it's a very good competitor towards macOS function. And a little bit of the bonus content, I found that Windows lacks aesthetics, because macOS is all about design, it's all about beauty and all about aesthetics. That's why I'd say that Windows 11 is a must-have if you prefer to have your operating system like neat and tidy, but also I'd say that there are 3 applications which are must-have if you want to perfect your design of Windows PC and Windows OS. And the first will be Translucent TB. As you can suppose from the name, it makes taskbar translucent, so it's a very simple application with a very limited functionality, but it does everything what it says. So it makes your taskbar translucent, so you have very seamless experience. The second application will be Modern Flyout. Modern Flyout create another type of flyout, for example, when you are toggling your volume or turning on caps lock or muting or playing or pressing play pause and so on. It makes a very modern type of flyout, because to be honest, the flyout in Windows is quite old-fashioned. That's why I highly recommend it. And also I have downloaded both of these applications from the Windows Store, both free of charge. And the third application will be Fancy Zap from the Steam store for $8. I have mentioned it before, it creates fancies on your desktop in order to organize your files more properly. I can highly recommend it. But the thing is that most applications which I need are multi-platform and are available both on macOS and Windows. at the same time. That's why there was almost no problem for me transferring between these systems. The only difference I have found for me personally, it is the design. In design concept, Windows and macOS are very different operating systems. But as you can see from all of the list below, there is no problems in studying and in enjoying studying on Windows laptop as well. And that's it for today. Thank you for being here with me and hear you next time.